So I just want to talk to you guys about the mindset shift that allowed me to go from chubby and overweight to shredded. So obviously I started out as a fat kid. I was chubby. I had fat rolls. I had fucking fat nipples. And I figured out how to lose the weight. Obviously, I lost the weight. I got shredded. But there was a turning point. There was something that happened, a specific thing that happened with my mindset that allowed me to get these results faster and to actually develop the discipline to do this every day. And this mindset shift that happened, and this one change I made, was that I fell in love with the process. And that's it. That's all I did. I did everything required. I got in the calorie deficit. I started eating healthier. I started training. And I did everything necessary to lose the fat. I did all the things required each day, and I just executed. But it wasn't just doing everything every single day that got me there, but it's also the fact that I fell in love with what I was doing. It got addicting. I fell in love with the process, and I got addicted to getting results. That's the change that happened. That was the shift. Because you see, for the first month, I wasn't really seeing that much results because I didn't really know what I was doing. And I was kind of figuring it out the first month of losing the fat, and I was like, all right, I got to do this and this. Okay. So this is happening. But when I was weighing myself on the scale and I saw the pounds just dropping, and I saw my face start to get a little thinner and thinner, and I was getting more compliments, it didn't even become a burden at that point. At that point, I fell in love with the process. At that point, it wasn't a burden. It was addicting. It was like back then when I used to drink, and when I was addicted to alcohol, and I was addicted to junk food or just comfort or things that were holding me back. Those dopamine spikes I got from that were like the dopamine spikes I got from getting results were like the dopamine spikes I got from those bad habits. But the dopamine spikes that I got shifted. I changed my habits, and I found new ways to feel dopamine. Not from junk food, not from drinking alcohol, not from watching stuff on browsers that I should not have been watching, not from doing bad habits that were holding me back. I was getting dopamine from the results that I was getting. I was losing the fat, I was looking way better, and it got addicting. It got so addicting that if I had a day where I wasn't exercising or going to the gym, I would bug out. I would be like, oh shit, what am I doing? I gotta do something. I have to get something done. I have to exercise. I have to work out. And you just have to fall in love with this process. You have to get addicted to the results. Because if it becomes a burden and you don't enjoy it, and you're doing it because you're oh, I have to do this, it's going to become unbearable. It's going to get to the point where you're not even enjoying the journey. I feel like so many of you just focus so much on the destination more than the actual journey itself. You have to embrace the grind. You have to embrace what you're doing to get to where you want. There's a beauty in it. There's a beauty in just getting to the gym, getting a great pump, eating correctly, having discipline, and seeing results. The results are really good. The results are great. But the process is what you have to fall in love with. The process and the journey is what you need to embrace and fall in love with. Because if you reach the destination, it's like, now what? It's like I lost the weight, I lost the fat, and then I was like, all right, I got almost to where I wanted, but now I'm in love with the gym. Now I love to lift weights. Now I actually love to improve myself. Now I love to eat healthy. Now I love to go and exercise. Now I love to be active. Now I love doing what I was doing to lose the fat. So I hit my weight goal, but I don't want to stop improving myself. That's how it has to be. You know, it reminds me of some people who are just like, oh, like, I want to get on a diet and lose 20 pounds and I'll be happy. But they gain the weight back. I see this happen so many times. I've seen it happen with my own family members. I've seen it happen with people I talk to who are like, oh yeah, I went on a diet. I wanted to lose like 30 pounds. But I gained the weight back. And it's because it's unsustainable for most people. Most people get on these diets to have like a temporary weight loss solution. Just because they want to feel good. They'll be like, oh yeah, I lost the weight. But then when their diet is done and whatever program they did was over with, they gain the weight back. Because dieting is unsustainable. They do it because they're like, oh, I have to do this diet. Oh, I have to eat these foods in order to lose the weight. All right, I got it. I got to my goal weight. All right, time to do whatever I want now. Time to eat back to what I was eating before. Time to be lazy again, whatever. It's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to fall in love with the process. Don't make it unbearable, like these people hopping on these random diets or just like they're hopping on the fucking treadmill for an hour and think that's going to solve their problems. It's not. You get to where you want by falling in love with the journey. You get to where you want by being passionate. I'm going to throw this gum out for a second. Hold on. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. But you have to fall in love with the process. It's like if I lost the weight and like say like I started out 193. At first, when I first lost weight, I went from 193 to 155. And I didn't have that much muscle when I lost that weight. I was like a little bit of a twig, but I could have lost the weight and been like, all right, I hit my goal weight. Now I'm just going to eat whatever I want. And then I would have gained the weight back and I would be like, oh shit, like I look pretty fucking bad. What happened? What happened was I got complacent. What happened was I was happy with the way it looked and now I just went back to my regular habits. I didn't do that. So many people do that. They lose the weight and when they hit their goal weight, they're like, all right, I hit my goal weight. I got the results I wanted. I look okay now. I'm just going to eat whatever. Like, you have to fall in love with the journey. This is a lifestyle. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle that you have to fall in love with. Not a temporary fix, not a diet, not like a temporary solution that will get you your results and then you're done. That's it. You have to fall in love with the grind. You have to get after it every day and you have to love it. I fell in love with the gym. I can't stand a day of not going to the gym because I get my dopamine and I feel good when I'm doing self-improvement. And when I'm not improving myself on a certain day and I'm being lazy, it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable when I do that. I have to hold myself accountable. But when I'm in the gym, when I have a pump, when I have like a chest pump, a back pump, or like a bicep or tricep pump, or a leg pump, and I'm getting a good lift in, I'm happy. I get my dopamine rush and my dopamine spikes from that. And I love it. I've been doing this for over 4 years and I love it. Improving myself and getting to where I want makes me happy now. I don't do this to just reward myself with eating like shit and going back to my old lazy habits. I don't. My reward is the dopamine rush and the happiness I feel from doing my self-improvement habits. And even when I get to where I want, which probably will never truly happen, but I'm never going to be satisfied. I'm not. I will be chasing and getting after this more and more and more every day. It will never be enough. But this is my lifestyle now. My lifestyle used to be just a fat kid who was just overweight and who would just sit around, play video games, and get his dopamine rushes from doing better in a game or just eating my favorite foods and just watching my favorite shows, which is fine. Like, you can still do that, but it's like that's all I did. That's all I did. I just sat around. I was lazy, and I did lazy fat kid habits. And I didn't work out. I didn't eat correctly. And my diet was shit. I got made fun of in school. I got made fun of for how I looked. And I was pretty miserable because of that. But when I was losing the fat, when I was getting results, I became addicted. And even when I got to my goal weight, like I said before, I didn't want to stop grinding. I didn't want to stop going to the gym. I didn't want to stop eating right because I fell in love with eating healthy. I fell in love with going and getting insane pumps. I fell in love with the muscle gains I was making. I fell in love with just grinding. I fell in love with the journey before I even reached the destination. When I got to the destination, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool, but I want to keep going. I don't want this to be the end. I don't want this to be where I stop and just be like, all right, that's it, I'm done. I was like, no, I want this to be a forever thing. You have to get addicted to that. Don't settle for like the results you get when you reach the destination. Make it a lifestyle. If it's like a burden that you're just like, oh, I want to get this done, I want to get this over with, or whatever. If you just make it and you look at it as a burden, then the journey will be unenjoyable and it's gonna suck. And when you get to where you want, you're gonna be like, oh, thank God I got there finally. All right, I'm done now. You're not gonna get to where you want. And the reason I say that is because when you get to where you want, you're going to fall back into your old habits and your old comforts, and you're going to be back to where you started. It's like you reached the destination, and then when you got there, you got sent all the way back. There's a fucking, I don't know, like a fucking teleporter that you accidentally walked into and went backwards to where you started. That's what happens when you get to where you want, but then you go back to your old habits and you fall behind. Just like people who go on diets, who think that their life will be automatically better once they lose 20 pounds and they can just go back to the way they were eating before. Doesn't work that way. It is a lifestyle. Make it a lifestyle. Fall in love with the journey, and your life is going to change.